Season 2, Episode 8 starts, and yep, it's a slow one. It starts off right after the incident at the barn.
I mean, we killed a kid.
Is it just me, or does Carl look really bored? Patricia's looking as enthusiastic as usual. The only one here really crying is Beth. Did you forget her name too? Yeah, I had to look it up. She rushes over to her dead zombie mother when suddenly... So was the zombie playing dead, or was it knocked out? What part of the zombie do you shoot to render it unconscious? Apparently none of the vital organs and not the brain. Oh, I see, you just need to shoot its cheek. Gotta fill that zombie danger quota while you can. Shane starts throwing a bunch of accusations around.
You knew, and you kept it from us.
Otis put those people in the barn. Maybe he found her and put it in there before he was killed.
Oh, so you really didn't have any idea what you were doing. Thanks. Everyone splits off into groups and separately gives their own little speech about how shocked they were that Sophia was in the barn. Don't get me wrong, I totally think it's important to show how Carol's coping with the situation, but with everybody else it seems like they're just constantly recapping the end of the last episode. Everybody reacts in the exact same way you already expect them to, and the way the scenes are set up, it seems like it was a really slimy tactic to stretch out the episode. It's okay to be entertained by this sort of repetition, but don't act as if they're not milking the barn incident to stretch out every single possible second.
It meant so much to everyone. Finding her, you know?
She was there all the time. I had him chasing a ghost in a forest.
We got lucky. If that barn ain't anymore, we could have been overrun.
Good thing Shane did what he did when he did.
Now I get that the point of the comic book and the show is to have it focused on the characters and have zombies be the icing on the cake. Not only is it mentioned in several interviews,
it's a zombie thing and there are zombies in it and everybody loves zombies, but you know, it's really about the characters.
The zombies are the frosting on the cake.
but it's very strongly implied in the cover of the first volume of the comic book. The main character dealing with the end of civilization is the focus, and although the zombies are still present, they're just partial reflections in the background. So it's totally understandable that the show would want to focus more on the characters than the zombies. And in season 1, the zombies really did feel like the icing on the cake. But now it's like we get a thimble full of icing and the cake is made of poop. So far we've had extremely minimal character development and they've buried some of the zombies. And we're seriously almost halfway through the episode. Maggie discusses the possibility of Glenn staying with her if his group is forced to leave, when suddenly... Oh no, not Beth? It turns out that she's in shock? Yeah, that works. They search for Herschel, but he is nowhere to be found. They look for clues as to where he could be, and they find a flask.
Looks like you found an old friend.
That belonged to my grandfather. Gave it to Dad when he died.
I didn't take Herschel for a drinker.
No, he gave it up on the day I was born. He didn't even allow liquor in the house.
What's the bar in town?
Hatland's. He practically lived there in his drinking days.
And that's where I'll find him.
I like how Rick basically just tells her where he is. Like, I'm sorry, but how well do you know Herschel? Why are you so certain that he's out drinking? She said that the flask is a family heirloom. It's not like you opened it up and took a whiff. I mean, I get it, the flask is only there so that they can find him. But would it not have worked better if they just noticed his car missing and then did a quick search through the extremely small town to find out which place he parked outside of? Whatever, apparently he knows exactly where he is, so him and Glenn go to bring him back. And Maggie doesn't look too happy again. Wait, did you seriously just use B-roll footage from episode 7? Did you forget to film a shot of her reaction as Glenn was leaving? Or maybe she's super OCD and needs to stand in a very specific spot with her arms crossed when she's mad at Glenn. Anyway, Dale decides to tell Lori his suspicions of Shane.
I believe that Shane sacrificed Otis. I can't prove it, but I think that he shot him and left him for bait so that he could get away.
And then for some odd reason, Lori feels as if she needs someone to go get Rick to bring Herschel back.
Listen, Beth's in some kind of catatonic shock. We need Herschel.
So what?
So I need you to run into town real quick and bring him and Rick back.
But isn't that what Rick's already doing? He just left with Glenn to go get him. Are you that impatient? Beth is in the exact same state she was in before. What is compelling you to get people to do this? Like, you think your husband's that incompetent that you need someone else to go get him to make sure that he's doing exactly what he just said he was doing?
You want to fetch him yourself.
Why would you be so selfish?
Yeah, how could you be so selfish, refusing to do something that I'm not even compensating you for? Look at me, I'm Lori, and everybody has to do things, but not me.
Let's get to work.
Look after my own son. I'm busy.
Would you take Carl up to the house? Would you look in on Carl for me? Everybody's feeling alienated from one another and strained, and Lori's just trying not to sob.
Apparently, Rick and Glenn hadn't even been that long because the very next scene shows them arriving at the bar. And this is where I think the character writing actually starts to get interesting. He's not just reinforcing his character as having the same viewpoint you already knew he had, nor does he say the exact same thing to Rick and then to Glenn and then to other characters separately to fill up screen time. He not only explains how he gained a new perspective, but he goes into detail about the troubles and hardships associated with his new outlook.
You told me there was no cure, that these people were dead, not sick. I chose not to believe that. But when Shane shot Lou in the chest, and she just kept coming, that's when I knew what an ass I'd been.
He goes through what's called a character arc, and the fact that he's upset about it makes it seem more convincing. The conflict associated with his character is presented in a way that kind of makes sense, unlike some people. Lori decides that since she can't guilt somebody else into looking for Rick, who is going to take just as long regardless, she feels so compelled by her illogically compulsive brain that she goes by herself. Better point the gun at my face first. She decides to be a huge fucking idiot and read the map while she's driving. You know you can stop on the road, right? There's like no traffic. Oh fuck, I hit the only thing I could have hit on the road. Better step on the gas. So what, was this like abortion attempt number 2? Oh, it finally makes sense why she was acting so illogically. Duh, it's so that she can get into a car crash and cause some conflict where there would otherwise be no conflict.
Can we talk about her
Sure, yeah, what do you want to talk about?
driving off, like, for some reason in the middle of the episode?
She's panicking because right now Shane's in charge of that camp. And she doesn't trust Shane because Dale just said, I think Shane took out this guy and all of this stuff. So she's now starting to see Shane as a threat. And
Wasn't she going to
Rick.
get Herschel the doctor at that time?
Yeah, she's going to get Rick and Herschel. She believes they're all together, so she's going to get them.
We just got the kids okay.
Yeah.
We solved the Sophia crisis. Now we're gonna drive off in another direction. Like, why on earth would she do that?
It's been a stressful time for so long. She's not thinking straight. She got a sense of things, but I don't know that she really knows what she's driving into.
Rick finally convinces Herschel to leave, but they find out that they're not here alone. These guys introduce themselves, but they come off as kind of sketchy jerks. Definitely do not want to share a living space with you. Eventually they get kind of pissed off and Rick has to kill both of them. And you know what? I think the episode ends pretty well. At least the conflict was real and it wasn't just dicking around. So we start the next episode and suddenly it's nighttime. That's the noise I would make too if I fucked up so consistently. The other characters have dinner and Shane reassures Carl that his dad will be okay.
Why don't you keep your head up, okay? Yo, man, he's the toughest son.
No cussing in the house.
Yeah, that didn't sound cheesy and artificial at all. Pretty soon everybody starts thinking, where the fuck is Lori? Shane goes out to look for her and finds her abandoned car wreck. He continues along the road to find that she is still walking away from the farm.
I gotta get you back.
No, we gotta find Rick.
He's back. They're all back. They're all safe and sound.
Yeah, you totally just drove past your car wreck and headed back. You are so fucking stupid. He brings her back to the farm and the first thing she asks is,
Where's Rick?
Oops.
I gotta look after you. I gotta make sure the baby's all right, okay?
You're having a baby?
I'm sorry, Carl, but nothing your character concerns himself with ever feels genuine.
Big brother Carl.
Your character acts less like a real kid and more like a conveniently stupid adult. Shane comes to talk to Lori privately, but instead of taking her to another room, they ask the other 3 characters to leave.
I think you ought to be thinking about how lucky we are that the baby's safe.
Can't
That's what you should.
stop lying, can you?
Yeah, you're so inconsiderate for taking me back to the farm. I was about to take on the whole fucking zombie army by myself. So the reason why Rick's been taking so long is that the buddies of the people he killed showed up to the bar. They get upset that they killed their friends, so they try to murder them. It's a good thing we're main characters, otherwise they might have shot one of us. I like how you two are holding your own even though you completely missed gun training. They wound one of them and leave him to bleed out by himself. A guy in a truck comes to pick up the sniper and informs him that there are a bunch of walkers coming. He tells him to jump because he's too impatient to wait for him to run down the stairs. Rick decides that it's now his duty to save this fucking Randy, and you're just totally okay with this other guy serving as a distraction for the zombies to munch on. Both of these people wanted to kill you. Yay, now I can save this guy I've never met. For a while, they seriously debate the possibility of cutting his leg off to save him. They don't want the walkers to know where they are, so they cover his mouth and then start shooting shotgun rounds at them. You can stop covering his mouth now, Rick. I'm pretty sure Glenn's alerted them to your position by now. They finally realize that they don't have enough time to cut his leg off, so they do something that they probably should have done in the first place. And by that I mean they only should have done that if they wanted to save him. Seriously, they should have shot him in the fucking head. So now it's morning. Have your eyes been open the whole night? Somebody get her some polysporin. Rick comes back to show everybody the stupid decision he's made.
Who the hell is that?
It's Randall.
Sweet, so we have a Randy named Randall. Overall, I think that this episode, like the previous one, had some features that allowed them to be better than episodes in the first half of the season. It's almost as if you're able to provide a little bit of interesting conflict as soon as you leave the fucking farm for a bit. It's almost as if staying there and listening to people bicker at each other is not entertaining in the slightest. The episode ends with Lori warning Rick that Shane is dangerous and that he should do something to stop him.
He's dangerous, Rick, and he won't stop.
Episode 10 starts, and it's been a whole week since the last one.
Been waiting a week till we were gonna do this.
I mean, it's great that things are kind of moving along now, but you couldn't have done it a bit more consistently? Like, the first 9 episodes of the season take place over 8 days, and now a week's worth of time has passed between episodes? Having Randy healing his leg at the farm for a week seems like a bit of an interesting dynamic. You couldn't have cut out just 1 episode's worth of material from the beginning of the season? Or even 1 very specific episode? So you're telling me that watching these characters bicker over nothing is character development? And now that a new character shows up who many perceive as a threat, you're telling me that the entire week that he was there was not even important enough to show at all? Call me crazy, but I think this inconsistency can be blamed on AMC. You don't have to look very far to find out that AMC has a hard-on for splitting seasons in 2, because it makes more money. Obviously, finding Sophia at the barn is confined to being in the mid-season finale. Without a shocking twist, you aren't able to garner as much hype for when the show finally returns. It seems as though AMC didn't allow the flexibility of having the season split after episode 6 instead of episode 7. Because otherwise, why would they have to stretch out the first half of the season's material so much? Would it not have made so much more sense if they found Sophia in the barn at the end of episode 6, and then had an extra episode to cover this week where Randy's healing at the farm? Whatever, they probably didn't do anything interesting anyway. So Rick and Shane are on their way to get rid of Randy now that he's healed. But before that, Rick decides there's a conversation that needs to be had with Shane.
Now Lori says you're dangerous.
You couldn't have been a bit less specific? I mean, if he really is dangerous, do you want to let the dangerous person know who thinks he's dangerous? You couldn't have just said people at the camp think you're dangerous? They come across a potential place to drop Randy off, and Rick decides to demonstrate an ammo-conserving method of killing walkers. Okay, so they're definitely drawn to the smell of blood. So much so that he's no longer focused on his target and starts licking the blood on the fence. They kill a couple of them and then open up the fence. But what they should have done is make as much noise as possible and try to lure out any other zombies that might be in there, like before you open the fence. You can practice that stabbing all day. Plus you can make sure Randy's going into a safe place. Now let's just assume that the ones we saw right away are the only ones in there, and take away the one thing that's giving us a clear advantage over them. They're about to ditch Randy, but then he says,
I went to school with Maggie, for God's sake!
At which point they decide that he knows too much.
I'm not like the guys I was with! Shit, no!
Really, Rick? You know, this all could have been avoided if you just let him die back at the town like you did that other guy. I'm sorry, Rick, but you are being irrational. He tried to kill you. Whether or not it was because he was in a group of other people that were just supposedly worse than him is irrelevant. How do you know that wasn't the case for the other guy that you left for the zombies to eat alive? If he's truly who he says he is, then that's unfortunate that he has to die, but he has to die. No one's even asking you to pull the trigger. Just let Shane do it. Let him become a victim of circumstance.
It's my call, man. I don't think you can keep them safe.
Oh, that's right, Rick. Try and be all high and mighty and then throw the first punch, you fucking asshole. So they fight for a bit with the cheesiest fucking punching sound effects ever. Are you punching like an open half of a watermelon? I'm pretty sure that the sound effect you're using is supposed to imply that the target being hit has turned to mush. In the midst of the fight, a window gets broken, and it turns out that there were zombies right behind it the whole time. Was that easily breakable window also completely soundproof? Aren't zombies also super attracted to noise? Did you not shoot a gun? Like, if there's just a shit ton of them in there, shouldn't they all have been pressed up against the window by this point? I guess if the zombies didn't just suddenly appear out of nowhere unreasonably, then the characters might be able to escape. Like, why can't we ever have a scene where the characters notice the horde of zombies before it's right next to their face? You know, it'd be cool if they just showed up and were like, oh wait, yeah, we totally shouldn't be here. Let's go. Good thing we didn't go into the very center of this place before realizing that it's infested. I mean, how stupid would we feel if that happened? So, Rick, when one of them comes out and you kill it and you notice more of them coming, do you think that the best plan of action might just be to get the fuck out? No, I'm gonna hide under this zombie. Fuck you, Shane. You gotta wait for me. Man, waiting for them to go first was such a good idea. idea. Now none of them see me. For some reason, one of them and only one of them notices Randy trying to free himself, and she fails so fucking hard. How do I legs? Do me, Simba. He broke her arm and now she can't get up. Easiest kill ever. So Rick somehow accidentally gets trapped underneath 3 zombies, and he comically isn't able to turn his wrist around at the right angle to shoot the 3rd one on top. Like, I get it, it's an excuse so that he can shoot a zombie through a zombie and people can be like, whoa, so badass. But the way that it's filmed, it's almost like the zombie knows what he's doing and is conscious of guns and how they work. Stop it. Stop, I'm trying to eat you, God. Shane runs and gets trapped inside a bus. Guys, the zombies are all coming from one location. You could have easily made it back to your vehicle. You're supposed to be faster than them. Why the fuck didn't you just leave, Shane? Even if you didn't want them surrounding the car, you could have just kept walking. Just fucking leave the place. Why would you trap yourself like that? Shane starts to utilize Rick's needle trick from earlier. But oops, now I don't have a knife. Rick and Randy are in a position where they could easily leave him, but Rick's such a good guy that he goes back to save him. What happened to that talk about saving ammo? Meanwhile, spliced in between all of this fun stuff, there's a B story happening at the farm. Beth is finally done going through whatever she was going through, but now she's like super depressed. She steals a knife from the plate of food that was given to her earlier. Quite obviously a cry for help. If you really wanted to kill yourself, you would probably be a bit less obvious. So now we have this great scene with Lori and Andrea. Andrea starts out by talking about how wrong it is that Lori is trying to save this girl from committing suicide.
Shouldn't have taken the knife away.
It is a good point that she'll find out how to do it no matter what if she really wants, and this is something that she has to choose for herself. But really, you're saying that she shouldn't have taken the knife away? Like, whether Beth is actually serious about it or not, you're seriously suggesting as if you should be like, whatever, I don't care, fucking kill yourself, who gives a shit? Might be a pretty good idea to make it seem as though you care whether or not they die. She tries to justify her reasoning by saying, oh, I wanted to kill myself and now I'm fine.
I came through it.
And became such a productive member of the group.
Lori, what are you arguing about now? Do you think that was an appropriate way to bring up how much work you think she does around the place? Did you not just indirectly say, well, yeah, you should have killed yourself because you're no help to me anyway?
I contribute. I help keep this place safe.
And by keep this place safe, you mean you're the reigning champion of friendly fire.
The men can handle this on their own. They don't need your help.
Whoa, somebody's all about traditional gender roles. Note how she's in the kitchen.
Plenty of work to go around.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry, weren't you guys just arguing about the girl upstairs who's trying to kill herself? How did this turn into Andrea, why you no do dishes? On an unrelated note, if the zombies can smell blood, does that mean that they're more in danger when they ovulate? They get into a competition of who is more valuable to the group and who does more.
You sit up on that RV working on your tan with a shotgun in your lap.
No, I'm better than you times infinity and 1.
I went after Rick. I took down 2 walkers.
After crashing Maggie's car, ever apologize for that?
Are you seriously bringing up that incident as though that's something you've accomplished? Dude, you fucking left for no reason and destroyed a vehicle and then got tricked into coming back. Well, I mean, it is kind of an accomplishment. Most people couldn't fuck up that bad if they tried. Like, you're acting as if that was a successful mission aside from the car damage. You are seriously better to this group dead. You want to start helping out? Take some inspiration from Beth.
Go ahead. Go in there and tell that little girl that everything's gonna be okay, just like it is for you. She'll get a husband, a son, baby, boyfriend.
Oh, no, you didn't. The scene became less believable with how easily she let Andrea have the last word. So Beth starts justifying her reasons to her sister and is really just kind of throwing Glenn under the bus.
No one can protect us.
That's not true.
Glenn, Rick will save his family. We're alone.
Like, maybe if your boyfriend was Rick, we'd have a fighting chance. Andrea comes in and decides to be super involved in this personal family matter.
Go get some air. I'll sit with her.
And instead of keeping an eye on her, she just leaves.
Is this what you want?
I'm starting to think maybe suicide is her fetish. Later, Maggie comes in to find that Beth has locked herself in the bathroom and is trying to kill herself. I'm curious as to what would have happened if she showed up half an hour later. Andrea comes running back from way the fuck over there, and she's like, see, this is what we're supposed to do. Her cuts aren't even deep. She totally wants to live now.
How bad is she?
What deep?
She wants to live.
Like her plan actually worked. I mean, yeah, it's true if she really wanted to kill herself, she probably would have slit the jugular. But I think in most cases, some counseling wouldn't hurt. Like having someone say, fine, I don't care if you kill yourself, go kill yourself, might be a reason for someone to want to kill themselves. But what do I know? It all went according to plan anyway.
So it was a cry because she didn't want to die. And you can throw me out of the house and kick me out of the house, and that's okay. because your sister is going to be okay from now on.
Is she the Mr. Miyagi of suicide? Yeah, that's right, Andrea. Keep showing that condescending smirk of yours. Can we talk about that smirk? It's present in like over half of her facial expressions throughout the show. Like the corners of her lips are more often than not pointed in a way that says, I look down on you. It's seriously one of the defining features of her character. Like seriously, that's not Laurie Holden's normal face. She doesn't have that smirk in interviews. And she didn't have it in The Mist either. Instead, she just had one eyebrow raised slightly higher than the other the whole movie. Like, I'm not trying to say that you're a bad actor or anything, but is this how you change characters? Will your next acting job feature a character with flared nostrils?
My father is stitching her wrist right now.
Yes, Herschel is stitching her up right now, along with all of the other characters who received 0 screen time this episode. Like, what the fuck? This episode only has 6 characters and a Randy. You couldn't even afford to pay them to show up for fucking 1 shot? You think that they would have been able to afford a few more actors this episode, considering how much we saw of the shiny Hyundai Tucson.
The advanced Hyundai suspension incorporates a Sax amplitude selective damper system to help protect you from feeling road imperfections.